All right, we are super excited about this one. This is a large tract out by Chalk Bluff in Shannon County, Missouri. Um, Really great location, public land everywhere. You can see the property in the middle of the screen. It's outlined in red. These yellowish, orangish roads are the gravel easement roads in the area. Let's actually back out a little bit. We'll start backwards on this one. Okay. So I'm using the MapRight program, which is great. I'm going to turn off the river, the water feature layer. There we go. That's a little less busy. Um, but I'm in the full version of the program, which you pay a monthly fee for. But you can get the app completely free, and we can actually send you an email link to this map. And then if you'll open that email on your phone and click the link, it will ask if you want to open it within the app. You'll say yes, and then not only will this pop up on your phone, but there'll be a little blue dot to indicate exactly where you are, a blue dot or a red dot. So while you're driving up to the property, you can be going down the highway watching the little dot. You'll know where you have to turn. You'll know when you're getting close. And then ultimately, when you get to the property, all you have to do is hold your phone and walk around, and you can basically walk the borders, walk wherever you want. I mean, it's fantastic. It's just it's the way to go for sure. But anyway, since we're starting backwards, we're going to go all in and go way backwards. We'll do the street map. Um, by the way, these colored areas, I've got the public land layer selected on this MapRight program. So each colored area is actually a large tract of public land. The deep purple, or the purple area, is the Ozark National Scenic Riverway, which is kind of I think it was created by a federal act decades ago to protect the Jacks Fork River right by the property. Up here to the right, that's, I believe, the Current River and somewhere the 11 Point River. These bluish shaded areas are conservation land. So generally, they're state maintained conservation land. And the light green areas are the Mark Twain National Forest. So most of this is open for public hunting. So although you'll probably do really well hunting on your property out here on a large tract like this, if you've got a big group of guys or girls and you want to split up or try different areas, I mean, you've got thousands of acres of public land right at your fingertips, basically. So we're right, basically in the center of the Ozarks. It's beautiful, beautiful area of the country in southern Missouri. Okay. So if you look to the left of the screen, that's Springfield, Missouri, the largest city in southern Missouri. From there, we would go east on Highway 60 for about an hour and a half to the little town of Birch Tree, which you can see there. And we'll actually go past Birch Tree, just a few miles past Birch Tree. Going one more time here. There we go. Just a few miles past Birch Tree to Highway E, which goes to the north. You go north on that, and then you go about 10 or 12 miles on Highway E, and you'll be going west onto County Road 412 right here. So that's, I believe it's marked, but I'm not sure about that. If you get to Highway 106, then you went about a mile too far. You've got to backtrack, go west on County Road 412. So once you go on County Road 412, you just stay on it. You'll eventually come into the Rocky Creek Conservation Area, which is when it'll turn into a forest road. So you've got to slow down a little bit because they're made for lower traffic. Ultimately, you've got about 6 miles of gravel to get to this property. So I mean, it's an off-grid situation. It's very private. You're not going to get many visitors out here. Go through the conservation area, and basically you'll see a lot of offshoots, a lot of trails going this way and that, but you'll more or less stay on the main trail, and you'll get to Chalk Bluff. You'll start to see the signs in the trees that say Track 3, Track 4, and what this is a group of 3 tracts that actually fit together really nicely. So we put them together, total of 17 acres. But if you're looking for signs, you'll be looking for tracks 23, 24, and 25. It's actually track 25 up here, 24 in the middle, I believe, and then 23 on the south. So keep your eyes peeled for the signs. But if you get, like I said, get the MapRight app, we can send you this link. That's the way to do it. So you see the property here. Let's go to, we'll just do a Google view. Conservation area within about half a mile, thousands of acres of conservation area. Going the other direction, within about half a mile, you have the Ozark National Scenic Riverways, the Jacks Fork River, which is gorgeous, and Chalk Bluff, which is one of the most scenic overlooks you'll ever find. It's a huge, beautiful bluff looking down on the Jacks Fork River. Um, I've only got within about 30 feet of it because it's pretty high up there, and it's completely natural. So it's not a situation with guardrails and barriers. It's right there. So if you're coming with your little kids or whatever, might want to stay, you know, 30 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet from that. But if you venture up close to it, it's a breathtaking view. But here's the property here. I'll zoom in a little more. Whoops. So the tracks out here at Chalk Bluff were logged within the last several years. Some of them were logged as recently as last year. This aerial is probably 3 years old, this Google base map. And so what you see here is you see big timber on the north side of the property, and on about 2/3 of the property, it looks like it's been very recently logged. Well, when this was taken, that was the case. Now it's been about 3 years, so that the tables have kind of turned. This area here that was logged has had some time to regenerate and repair, and this northernmost area was just logged last year, so that looks pretty bleak. You'll see that when you check out the drone video and the ground video, which are recent. Actually, they're from this last winter, and we're going into springtime, so stuff's going to look a lot better. We'd be happy to get you new videos, new springtime videos, if you purchase the property. But that's just something to keep in mind is you'll see that when you're watching the drone video. I believe the drone video is starting down here on the south end, and this part here looks really good. The property extends down to a creek bed here, and if you look across the creek bed, all this timbered stuff is what looks pretty bad because that's been very recently logged and actually heavily logged. This stuff here, when it was logged, was just a standard go in and take the big commercial timber. This other stuff, the north part and this adjoining property, it was almost as if they were planning to turn it into pasture. So step one was to remove most of the trees. So that's something that you'll see, like I said, in the drone video. So if you want to build where you've got pretty decent timber, this south part, while we're on the topic of selecting your site, the topo map is really helpful. Basically, this west side of the tracts is a large ridge. So you get down here to the south side where you'll find some good timber, and it's more or less level. It slopes down a little bit, but I mean, you've got a large site here where you could potentially build your home or cabin or have a yard, and you're going to have a great view out to the south, out to the east. Just gorgeous. If you're into having a large yard and a good view, the south part is good for that. But actually, I mean, there's flat areas basically running with the easement roads here. So on the north side, you have a large flat area that slopes down gently. This west side, similar situation. And then you've got kind of a miniature valley running southeasterly through the property. We have not explored that. I don't want to say most, but many of the valleys like this that we have actually explored. We found little springs. We found cool rock formations. So if that's something that you're interested in, feel free to go and bring your hiking boots or your four-wheeler and check that all out. Also, there's an opportunity if you wanted a large pond or lake with a situation like this to put a dam in this valley area and back the water up and have a big lake or pond for fish or for animals or whatnot. But super private out here. You'll see deer everywhere. You'll see wild turkey. This is not that far from where the Conservation Department released a herd of elk a few years ago, basically breeding stock to begin to populate the Ozarks with elk. I think that was only 20 miles. I could be wrong, but if not already, then sometime in the near future, you might start seeing elk in this area. I'm convinced I saw one on Highway E. One of the locals told me he didn't think so, but man, that thing, it was no deer. It was huge. It was brown. It looked like an elk to me. So I think they're right in here in this area. But no, great topography. If you wanted to be right off the road, you could do that. I mean, you have to be 100 feet off the road for the setback when you build your cabin or your campsite. But if you want to be super private, man, I like this down here. This is a dead-end trail, so you basically have no traffic. You can get off the road. Even once you're 100 feet off the road, it's going to be so private, and you have this large flat area. I happen to really be enamored by views, and the view out here. I mean, just looking at the topography, you might have to thin out a few of the smaller trees that might obstruct the view, but you're looking at a really nice view out in this area. So uh, feel free to hit us up at InstantAcres.com. And you got all the conservation area. You've got Jack's Fork River. You got other rivers and creeks. This is just, if you're looking for a recreational place, I really don't know if you could do much better than this. This is just, it ticks all those boxes. It is off grid. Um, if you ask me how far power is, I would say at least 3 miles. So in my mind, that's just plain off grid. So solar power, wind power, battery power, what have you out here. We have pretty good cell service. The Wi-Fi in my truck works fine out there. So it's pretty great actually. But yeah, hit us up at sales@instantacres.com. If you check out our website, that's just www.instantacres.com. If the property is available, it will be on the website. If you don't see it on the website, then unfortunately it's been sold already. People do sometimes get mad at us because we leave the videos on YouTube, but we have so many requests from the buyers to please leave the videos in the listing, which means we have to leave them on YouTube so that they can continue to view those. But ultimately, instantacres.com, or shoot us an email. And if this one's gone, we'll find you something else. We had quite a few in this area. They're going as quickly as we get them on the website, basically. But we're always trying to get new inventory, and we would love to talk to you. InstantAcres.com.